Hey Cactus crew, how you guys going? Thanks so much for tuning in after my last performance. I'm so grateful for your return. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Bill. Welcome to my channel. Well, welcome to a CB Live. Come on in and have a chin wag with the Cactus crew in the chat. I really want to focus on getting it right with including the chat for discussion. I'm going to get it right and you can help me. I need your input. So you can come in, let me know what your thoughts are as we go through this. What are we watching? We're going to be watching Without a Crystal Ball's exclusive, where she interviewed KRISTY Blanchard, apparently. You know, we don't even know what an interview for her is because she thought that Derek Dillard replying to her in an email was an interview. So just take it with a grain of salt. Hashtag cliches for KJ. I don't know if that's still around, is it? Okay, getting off track already. It's from September 6, 2019. And if you watched my live from, I don't know when it was, would have been earlier on this week, and my whole system shut down. Like, first off, my mic was muted, and then like everything just went downhill from there. So I was originally going to be watching the live after this one, but no, I've gone back and got this one. And if you want to watch the next ones, the follow-up videos that Katie did, you can let me know and we can do that. But next week, I've got a video coming out on Fancy Macelli. I fucking fell down that rabbit hole. And, I would never say that phrase, but it's part of the carousel from hell and it's engraved in me now. Engraved or ingrained? Ingrained. It's ingrained in me. Fell down that rabbit hole and it was actually the same shit. I think Fancy and Katie are the same person. That's her stranger friend. Like, no, her legit, well, they don't look alike, but, that's her twin, her stranger twin on Earth. And I edited it and then I lost the video. So I got to re-edit it. But so make sure your notifications are on. That will be out on Monday. But yeah, tonight or today, Friday, we're going to be watching, this is what Katie titled it, exclusive, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, spelt with an E on the end, but she hasn't gone back and corrected it after 4.5 years of being KRISTY's best friend. Gypsy Rose Blanchard cuts ties with By Proxy Productions. So that's where we're heading. Also, replay crew, head to the description. That's where you find all the timestamps. And you'll also find the links down there for the past Gypsy videos that I've done, or what led us here. And then after the stream, I'll put them in the pinned comment. So both parts there. I'm not making sense. I hope I make sense eventually. My brain's just got to warm up. But if you want to follow me, you can. TikTok, Instagram, and X at It's Crystal Bill. Everything I say is my own opinion from my own brain and with my mouth, and then it's all, whoa. Gosh, I've got to work on it. Got to work on everything. Just while I'm waiting for chat to, because there's a minute or so delay with StreamYard, I found this and I thought we might just watch this first. It's KRISTY Blanchard on News Nation. This is just a clip from News Nation's Instagram, but it's quite interesting what they talk about. So I'm just going to press play on that.
Fans have followed not only the story of Gypsy, but also her social media. I think she's at last count, around 6 million followers with Instagram and TikTok maybe combined. that means she's now a public figure. Is there any concern about her safety? And are you all doing anything to ensure that she's going to be okay in her newfound freedom, but also newfound fame?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get someone to help her, control her social media, because she's still learning. She has a couple of stalkers out there, I'm not going to lie. Some that are quite disturbing. But as her being safe at home, I think she's going to be okay. If worse comes to worse, we'll hire someone for security. I'm just hoping that the creeps stay away from her.
So many true crime.
And I believe Katie is one of those people that she's referring to, but we know she's referring to Fancy Macelli, and that's what Katie is going to be talking about, because this is her exclusive interview from September 6, 2019. I thought, let's go back and let's all get on the right page, because I can't remember. Can you remember 2019? I don't even know if I watched it. I can't remember. I mean, gosh. Katie, can you? No, you've got no crystal ball to remember. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying, I can't talk and do stuff at the same time. I don't have that ability. I reckon by the end of 2024, I will be able to talk and do stuff at the same time. I will grow, Katie. I will grow. I will evolve. And yeah, this is my own copy of.
Sorry, this took way longer than I thought.
Oh my gosh, it's so scary when it starts without.
Sorry, this took way.
Start until I'm ready, Katie, please. Oh my God, you look so happy, and how inviting does your casting couch look? It's just looks so comfy. The pillows, no candles, no painting. It's all in the corner. Okay. Oh, brain, we aren't. My brain is like, can we just focus on the couch for a minute? No. Oh, welcome everybody in chat. It's so good to see you all. Hey, Brenda. I've got to reply to your message. Oh, hey, Renelle. The non-existent exclusive. She still doesn't know what an exclusive is. Okay, so, oh, hey, E. And SD. Dirty Uncle Sal. Who's lost her accent? What accent? Oh, I've never heard KRISTY Blanchard talk before. So that was my first. Okay, Katie, we're coming to you now. I don't know if I'm ready. It's better not to be ready.
Way longer than I thought. I know you've been waiting so patiently. Thank you guys so much. This was unexpected. So I promised you that I had been trying to put together sort of a story about Gypsy Blanchard and sort of this production that's going on, and really just getting a sense of what is going on, right? And I told you that a while ago, a company a production called by Proxy reached out to me and wanted to talk with me about my background in.
Hello, Para Woman Radio. I'm sorry I missed you. Don't worry. I totally feel I would have said the same thing. I'm sorry I miss people.
Covering cases of women with Munchausen's by proxy. And they had commented on my YouTube channel, and some back and forth happened. I had a friend actually start working for them, doing some transcribing, and I eventually was able to have a conversation with them yesterday. And I spoke with Fancy Macelli, who has been until recently a spokesperson for the family, along with a woman named Brenda. Following the conversation with them, there was a lot of things that they told me that made me sort of scratch my head and made me kind of double back and try to figure things out. I joined a couple groups and I saw some things that I was kind of confused about, because during the conversation, they disclosed to me that the family and them had parted ways. Now, the wider media hasn't been talking about this. And so I was sort of concerned because most people in the media sort of were of the opinion that Fancy was the the spokesperson. So only a week before, when I found out that Gypsy had broken up with her fiance, instead of reaching out to say KRISTY, I asked Fancy, who gave me no comment. Now I've come to find that the family actually cut ties with her in July due to some concerns that KRISTY Blanchard, her Gypsy's stepmother, disclosed with me in just an hour-long phone call I just had with her. And the reason why I was late was because I was on the phone with this really nice Cajun lady who happens to be the stepmother of Gypsy, who was very honest and open and straightforward. So let's sort of talk about what's going on. I hope you guys are ready.
I don't know. Let me just double check. Cactus crew, are you guys ready? Is everybody ready? Am I ready? Bill, yes. Are you ready? Okay. Katie, do you need to have a sip? I'm going to have a sip too. I think we all will.
All right. So, whew, got some hair. All right. So, whew, got some hair. So, for years, not years, for a while, I've been covering cases related to people, mothers, caregivers that have what's now called fictitious disorder imposed by another. The more common name known in the wider media is Munchausen's by proxy, but Munchausen's by proxy is actually no longer the DSM-5 label. It's called fictitious disorder imposed on another. I've covered numerous cases from around the country, including a woman named Anita Tutt, who is in Texas, and a woman named Teresa Roth, who's in Georgia, a case in two cases in Texas. In fact, one was where a nurse, a mother was pretending her daughter had diabetes and she didn't. Over the years, another in Minnesota named Megan, where she was giving her son Miralax in his feeding tube. And over this time of covering these types of cases, I've learned a lot about the mothers that do this, along with the impact it has on the children. Obviously, Gypsy's case is a huge one, but I want you to understand that this specific disorder is a lot bigger than what you realize. And Gypsy's case, while spectacular or sensational, is also, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, the level that she experienced of the abuse is not, it's pretty par for the course, right? Like these women.
Oh my God. I don't think you can't compare cases. Like, yeah, extreme, but that's what you want to do, Katie. You always want, what's the worst case? What, Gypsy's case didn't do it for you? Okay. That hair, that wasn't cat hair. And it only came when she drank out of her dirty cup. It looked like she was flossing. That was something.
Women, they fake their children's illnesses. They have their children, they groom their children to follow their directions. And by doing so, they want their children to appear sick and unwell for attention. Now, Dee Dee in this case was not only someone that was addicted to the attention, she was also a malingerer. So she used Gypsy's illness for fraudulent purposes to obtain houses and donations and money and gifts and traveling. And so it's not common that you see a mother that's both a malingerer and a Munchausen's by proxy, but this was sort of Dee Dee's MO. There are other mothers. Anita Tutt, who is in Texas, would be another one. What happens initially is that they get obsessed with the attention that they receive, that they start fabricating more and more illnesses on the child in order to get that need met. Then they start getting gifts and attention, and then they start getting addicted. Happened in the case. Gypsy took a plea deal in 2015 after the death of her mother.
I was waiting for a break, but you're editing. You just jump straight on to the next thing. Now I've forgotten what you were talking about. Can't forget just in 2 seconds. If you don't know, I believe that Katie shows so many red flag signs that she could possibly have Munchausen by proxy. I've read a lot of Katie's old articles and her old blogs, and it fits. We did a live on New Year's Eve, and we watched this video with Dr. Grande, and he lists all the things that, the traits of a mum that may have a mum or a caregiver, but it mainly is the mum. And it's that lack of connection, that cold and he mentioned narcissism, histrionic. Oh, I forgot. I can't say that one properly, but Katie definitely shows signs of narcissism, total disconnect to her son. And the best example of that is the video where Toad is yelling at V and she doesn't react at all. She doesn't flinch or anything when her son is crying out that, you know, he's in distress, he's hungry, no reaction, which, you know, means she's able to hurt him and it won't affect her because she's got no feeling, no connection. She doesn't feel anything. It's sad. It's scary. It's horrifying. But yeah. Oh, Katie, look at you, the expert. But I've been going at Katie lately, just the way she's been writing Munchausen by proxy. She's been putting an apostrophe S, Munchausen's. And I think that she can't spell it properly because it's too close to home. Like maybe her subconscious kind of knows that, hey, might want to pull back those reins. Being a bit obvious there with the Munchausen by proxy red flags.
Nicholas Godejohn, he was just sentenced recently to life in prison. And because Gypsy was ultimately a victim of her mother, the DA in the case wanted to make sure to give her a deal that made her have to take responsibility for the crime, but didn't further re-victimize her, because in all intents and purposes, for Gypsy, it was sort of a kill or be killed situation. So Gypsy's in the middle of her 10-year sentence, and she's serving in Missouri with the Missouri Department of Corrections. During this time, there's been a lot of media coverage. There's been a documentary on HBO. Recently, Hulu put out sort of a fictionalized version of Gypsy's life called The Act, which sensationalized and added scenes that didn't even really happen. The family was not happy. I spoke with KRISTY about a lot of what was out with The Act, just because they added things that just weren't necessary. They depicted.
It was a movie. It wasn't a documentary. It was a teleseries, a docudrama. No, not a docudrama. What do they call it? Drama series, like a dramedy or something. I don't know the new lingo for it, but so it was for entertainment, based on a true story, So yeah, the family might be angry, but this happens to everything, every big story. That's why they can have their documentary that's coming up. Gypsy, she gets to use her voice and control the narrative. Oh my God, I sound like you. Control the narrative. Haunting words. Yeah, no, I don't think it's docudrama, Dirty South. Because it's because it was with the actors and stuff. God, Patricia Arquette. Was it Patricia Arquette? She was so good. And the young girl that played Gypsy, I can't think of her name, but I think she was in The Lie.
Relationships that weren't accurate. They had scenes that were multiple scenes of her being tied up to a bed, which only happened one time. There was just a lot more to this case than they didn't need to add the drama, but they did. And then they also didn't work with the family. So
why are you doing these extra nods to affirm to yourself? It's like you have to agree with yourself.
In 2017, a couple years after Gypsy had been in prison, they met with a woman named Fancy Macelli, who is a woman she says she's a production person, works in production, has background in film. She says, I had a difficult time finding anything that really said that she had any experience. I found a profile that she made where she claimed to have 2 different projects in pre-production, but nothing on credit in terms of I couldn't even find a credit for her for being a part of a crew on anything. Doesn't mean that it's not. I couldn't find anything.
That's because you don't know how to search. You don't know how to use Google. I mean, gosh, I found more than you. I found her IMDb page. But, there's not much there because It's all bullshit. Katie, it's like you saying that you are a journalist. You don't have the credentials or the qualifications to say that. It's a label that you want. So, Fancy, she's a production company, you know, she was able to sell bullshit at more than you. Maybe it's your eyes that give it away. I don't know. Maybe it's your eyebrows. Because when I talk to people, sometimes I can't hear what they're saying because I'm just stuck on their eyebrows. And that's not a bad thing, but maybe it is with you.
So they get connected to her. They sign a contract with her in 2017 to be part of a production called By Proxy. And the production was supposed to be Gypsy's ability to tell her side of the story. So because the HBO documentary was very, the HBO documentary, if you have not watched it, Mommy, Dead, and Dearest, the family is actually extremely pleased with. So if you have not watched that and you want to get a good understanding of how this all plays out, it's a good place to start. Although KRISTY did tell me today that, you know, it doesn't have a lot of the things that they know today. So we know more now, obviously, than we knew then.
Yeah, if you've just joined, this is 2019, September 6th. Katie's exclusive that she interviewed KRISTY Blanchard, her big, you know, call, because now is it 4.5 years later, she's been friends with the family for 4.5 years later. No new information though, but she loves to rehash the bullshit on the carousel from hell. And so I had to come back and drag you guys with me to be all on the same page so that we can move forward with the information that we need, because I can't remember back to 2019. Oh, Katie, I want to speed it up, but...
And then with the act, obviously, they never interviewed Gypsy or any of the family members. So everything from that was taken from court records and court documents. So there's a lot with this case that's complex. So what they wanted to do was put out their own version. Gypsy wanted to have a little bit more control of what was being said, and so did the family. Fancy promised that this is what they were going to be able to do. And over the course of a couple years, Fancy was able to obtain medical records, full discovery of the investigation, interrogation videos, interviewing the family, interviewing people connected to the family. Fancy started a Facebook group called By Proxy Discussion. Fancy created a Facebook page called By Proxy Discussion, or page or something. And as this relationship evolved, Fancy began speaking on behalf of the family and sort of was like a family spokesperson. Now, over time, that relationship between them started to kind of sour. Now, when I spoke...
Oh, Renelle, I just saw yours. Renelle says, I wonder if she told KRISTY that she has a whole production team behind it. I wonder if she used we. We will be on that. And she is producing a documentary about Robert Sheen. Yeah, well, right. She has said it before. Maybe she has. This is her go-to thing that she has said to everyone. Yes, I am making a documentary. Remember her Patreon? I think, was it her Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee? But it said in the bio something about, I want to eventually write a novel. Yeah, your whole novel is on Google. Funny. And who else was I going to say? Melissa, you just popped in. I was going to say hi, but I forgot where you said. I can't see it. Gosh, this is me. My brain's like, can you find it quickly? No. But yeah, I just hope that KRISTY can keep Katie away from Gypsy. But then if she gets close, I just hope that Gypsy does one Google search, because that is all she needs to do. And then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, dump that karma on Katie. Gypsy will be able to see what she, like, one Google search, and it's all Katie's son.
Spoke with Fancy yesterday. She said to me that their relationship fell apart because as they started looking more into the family, she felt there were inconsistencies with this family. She didn't feel like they were being truthful. She wasn't clear about whether or not she thought that Gypsy was really reformable or taking ownership for her recovery, saying that she, even online on their page, and in their group, they talk a lot about how Gypsy isn't taking the steps to get therapy. She's only done a couple anger management classes. She's not seeing a psychiatrist. She doesn't seem to be evolving or developing. She's still lying and manipulating and this and that and the other thing. And then, you know, there's stuff in the group about what the intentions are of the stepmother. Does she really care about her daughter? Is she just doing this for fame and for attention? Is she selling Gypsy out? There's allegations about Gypsy's father and whether or not Gypsy's father actually ever really wanted to have a relationship with her and how much he knew. There's allegations that they knew, that KRISTY and Rod, her father, knew all of this was going on and did nothing to help her. And so with all of that said, Fancy says that as they started learning more about this and she started learning more about Gypsy, and they got to the truth, she said that that's when their relationship started to sour.
See how she's doing the double nod just to like reaffirm her shit that she's saying.
This, and she started learning more about Gypsy, and they got to the truth. She said that that's when their relationship started to sour.
Boom. Someone should release bobbleheads, Katie, bobbleheads. I'll be in on it. Oh, imagine that on your dashboard. Oh, but it sounds like the best idea ever. I was just going to say, where did I see Susie? Susie said, I bet Wilma is producing it. Like I just lost it. Because Kate, that's who Katie says is like working on the 7M documentary that she's been asked to be a part of. That doesn't exist. But just like sources, like Katie not having any sources, she can say whatever she wants in dreamland. But then when it comes to showing up in reality, nothing ever is there. What am I talking about? Katie's brain, my thoughts? I don't know.
Now, that's her point of view. Now, Gypsy's point of view is that she got involved with Ken, who she actually is still dating, and the early media reports that they split up are not accurate and are not correct. She did have to sort through some sort of a break between her and Ken, but other than that, like there wasn't like this, I don't know. They're very much together. They're just very much working things out in a direction to figure out where this is going to go, when they're going to get married. What really happened was in July, an article went out on In Touch. And I actually reported on this, and this was the article that spawned interest by Fancy to reach out to me to clarify some statements, but she never responded to me after I asked, okay, I'll talk to you. But in that article on In Touch in July, when we introduced and learned who Ken was and that they were getting married, there were statements made by Fancy that they were concerned about whether or not Gypsy should really be getting into this relationship, whether or not she should be married, and quoting that like the family would prefer that they wait and that she should take time for herself. And she announced in that article that they were getting married in January, which had not been announced publicly. And this...
My God, Katie, when do we get to the exclusive part? I don't want to know your dribbling. Because I made this video on Fancy and this is everything that's in it. Like, this is the same bullshit over. I can't escape it. I didn't know you were going to rehash it. And hey, Llama Girl, everyone's in here now. And Goose, is TK here? Have a party. Where's the exclusive? Like we are 15 minutes in, 12 minutes or some shit like that. And she's just rehashing an article. Did you lie? This is not exclusive? Or is it just she replied to your email? It's Derek Dillard all over again, isn't it? Exclusive interview, and they've just replied to your comment. But you're in. You've got your foot in the door. Can you stand up and follow through? No. You just sit back down. Carousel from hell.
Prompted a very angry reaction from Gypsy because she didn't want anyone to know that anything had been decided about the wedding. Additionally, Gypsy was frustrated because she felt that the article in Touch painted her in a way that she was unable to make her own decisions, knew nothing about life, and that Ken was using her and that her family didn't like him and wasn't supportive of him. And she said that none of that was further from the truth. Now, she sent a bunch of emails to Fancy that were very strongly worded, and I have them, but I'm not sure that I'm going to she sent an email after the first thing went up, and she basically told Fancy that she was going to cut ties with her and she didn't want to be associated with her because of how she talked about them in the In Touch magazine. And
Oh, I tuned out a little bit because look at Katie's hair. How horrifying was the side shaved head? Because she doesn't have the head shape for it. Like, she needs best mates, like a good girlfriend, to be able to tell her, maybe don't, you know? I mean, my friend tells me, but I still want to shave my head, even though everyone tells me no. Because it's a new year, okay? Would Katie would actually look all right with a shaved head. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. Can we just talk about this? I saw, who was it? That said that, like, you can't blame Rod, and you can't, because, you know, they were divorced, but also exactly what Katie has done as well is the abuser isolates the victim away from family and friends. Katie did that with her son, isolated him, took him an hour away from grandparents, cousins, aunts and uncles, to like this country town, which is, you know, really just the industrial place where they make all the pet food and all that. So it stinks. But it's also swampland, like cheap swampland that they sold for cheap. Okay, that's also not what we're here for. What am I talking about? So she isolated him so that she would have more access to using telehealth over person-to-person doctor appointments. And that's like how a lot of the abuse of V happened. Within the first 5 years of his life, he was like neglected by these like 2 alcoholics. Katie admits to this, which is, you know, she doesn't have self-awareness. So that's why she lies so much, because she shares so much and then people question it and she's got to come up with some excuse. Her family started to question her and she wanted the attention that she was getting, you know. As soon as she found the benefits that she could get through Medicaid and all that, she kind of started matching her son to disorders. And I'll link it below, the playlist Without a Crystal Ball articles. There's so much proof of this. And I've read a few of them, but I got to take time out because they're so horrific. And when I vocalize it, it's horrifying. But yeah. And I throw myself off as usual. But yeah, isolating the victim, and then she can do whatever she wants and no one will question her. And yeah, I like highly suggest going and watching the live I did on New Year's Eve. I think it's called Playing with Fire, because Katie is playing with fire by covering Gypsy. All Gypsy has to do is one Google search. Her eyes are open to the signs of Munchausen by proxy. She's a victim of that. She's a survivor. Looking at Katie's son, one Google search, she will know, because Katie shared so much. And the further you dig and the more you dig, the more horrifying it becomes. I bet Gypsy will one day end up on the subreddit Without a Crystal Ball. Imagine if that is the 3rd lot of karma. Because I was thinking it's 7M in March, but, you know, maybe there's 4 lots of karma for Katie. And I say that because her first lot of karma was not being able to get on YouTube with her face anymore. The second lot was, I think, the infection in her face. Or was that connected? I don't know. I can't think. Look, because we're not here for that. We have to get back to this. My brain doesn't want to get back to this. But she's got to get to the exclusive part soon, don't you think? Right?
she was very stern, very upset, very angry. She also said at that same time that she was no longer speaking with her stepmother, KRISTY, because she thought that KRISTY had leaked all of this to the media when it was in fact Fancy that made the statements, not KRISTY. KRISTY says for her part, she and Gypsy have come back. They've talked things out. Everything's been sorted through and they're fine. But what has happened now is that the family has made the decision to no longer work with them, with her. But it's not just because of the In Touch article, but because they said they worked with her for over 2 years. And at this point, the production has gone nowhere. They have had no offers, or it has not been picked up by anyone. There's been offers by several networks to take it, but they don't want to work. The networks would want to bring in their own production team. So they would like let Fancy sell them the story, but they don't want Fancy to work on it because Fancy doesn't have extensive experience. And a lot of times with these networks, they do like to use their own crews. So she's had some opportunities to sell it, but she won't because she wants to be involved, which is her choice. But it's made it so that this production can't go through because at this point, networks don't really want to do it if she is involved because they want to have their experienced crew managing it and doing all of the production. So for Fancy's part.
Oh, Susie, I just saw yours where you said Gypsy had flying monkeys posting for her when she was in prison. Apparently, it was her mum. Apparently Mia, her sister, her half-sister, was running her Instagram. And like Gypsy would tell her what to post and she would update it and stuff. But I wouldn't say flying monkeys because it's her family trying to support her. She's always had a story to tell. She's always had her story to tell, which is different if anyone else wants to tell the story, you know? So that's why the act was never going to be precise. The only precise would be coming from Gypsy herself. And to have like a victim of Munchausen by proxy just turn the tables and become an advocate is, you can't put a price on it at all. Like that is one of the best things ever. It's like, what was that serial killer that provided the inside information on like serial killers and made people understand Criminal Minds was based on him? I can't remember because my brain's in, it's getting cooked in pea mush. Yeah, my brain's over here in the Paulson world. No brain, no thoughts.
She's saying that she's trying to do this independently. She told me that she's trying to work on this she's in pre-negotiations is what she said, and pre-production, or in having negotiations and in pre-production. So anyway, nothing happens with the production. KRISTY finds out that some documents are forged of a contract. KRISTY provides a copy of the contract to her connections at Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil to review to see, is this contract that I signed with by proxy appropriate? Is this what we should be doing? And Melissa, who I believe she said works with Dr. Oz, told her that the contract was messy. It was completely inappropriate. It was nothing she had ever seen before. And she told KRISTY that she didn't want to work with Fancy and that she should get out of the contract. So she got out of the contract. The contract was only for 1 year and it ended in 2018. But Fancy continues to say that she has the life rights to the story, which KRISTY absolutely denies. She says they do not have the life rights to the story. They can tell the story, but they don't have the life rights to Gypsy.
And we ended on that nod again. Katie, I'm loving this. I'm writing down bobbleheads for merch. No. I'm just going to buy a bobblehead and then make a Barbie with your hairstyle and then put it on my dashboard and then go to town, make a video, have you singing. Fancy is still saying, because like I said, I made this video on her yesterday and I got to re-edited it basically because I don't know where it went. I'm having a bit of technical difficulty in my house at the moment because I got a new phone, so that's really what's happening. Technology, like what? Fancy is saying that she's the leading expert on Gypsy Rose. It's in her bio on social media, and yeah, she's just been telling everyone why she is and how she is so close. But Katie, it's you as well. Fancy is you. I don't know. I've got to look up who's older because in my video I was like, this is Katie in 10 years. But what if Katie's the elder? Which is probably the case. because Katie is saying that she's been friends with KRISTY for 4.5 years. And she did those posts that I went through in one of my videos. They're linked below, all the videos that I've done so far on Katie's coverage of Gypsy since she was released from prison. In Katie's Instagram post, she's like, I've been friends with KRISTY now for 4 years in one post. And then the next post, it was 4.5 years. You know how it goes with Katie, exaggeration nation. So she's saying how close she is. And then she's like, down the bottom in brackets, I am very close to the family. So I am the source of my content. She legit said that. But there's no new information. All she's been doing is rehashing all this fancy stuff. She's an expert on the fancy stuff, not an expert on Gypsy. No new information, just rehashing of the carousel. She's absolutely just exaggerating. Like she was best friends with Lindsay Chrisley, best friends with Amy Duggar, interviewed Derek Dillard. The list goes on. Who else mentioned her? Oh, someone's mum. James Charles's mum. Her and James Charles' mum, bosom buddies.
She also said that she found out that Fancy forged Gypsy's signature on her contract. All of which I can't verify because I haven't seen the contracts. And I just got offline with KRISTY. So that.
Renelle, do I have permission to show your short? I think it was your short. Renelle showed it the other day. So I might tee that up and I'll find it in a minute.
That is not confirmed. So what I was able to deduce in all of this, it is such a huge mess. So what it sounds like is that Fancy had this idea that she was going to basically do this production. Unfortunately, because she doesn't have experience and doesn't have a lot of industry connections, it was really hard for her to get into things. As the family got to know her and learn and work with her, they start seeing red flags from her. They said red flags come up. They catch her in different lies. The production continues to stall. There's a lot of questions about why she's releasing certain information. For instance, one thing that really set Gypsy off and was part of the main reasons that this relationship fractured was that Francesca or Fancy made the decision to release photos, crime scene photos of Dee Dee on Facebook. And they were full photos of Dee Dee, basically completely unclothed, with her butt out, lying on her stomach, deceased. Another aspect that upset the family was that she decided to release Gypsy's entire interrogation, a 4-hour interrogation video, which is on her YouTube channel called by Proxy Productions.
Thanks for letting us know that. Renelle, I'm just going to show Renelle's short. And just know, shorts show up in my YouTube differently. Doesn't matter. It's not
So she's
not relevant.
Saying that I'm reacting so poorly and don't like them anymore because KRISTY manipulated me, and
God, guys, just wait. Can never run smoothly.
So she is saying that I'm reacting so poorly and don't like them anymore because KRISTY manipulated me, and I'm just so stupid that I couldn't figure out that she had 12 convictions and forged Gypsy's signature. And then here is where she forged Gypsy's name onto a life contract with By Proxy. The top is the contract for By Proxy, and the bottom is Gypsy's actual handwriting.
But if the bottom one is Gypsy's handwriting, Gypsy spells her name wrong with a Y. Is that a Y or an I? Maybe it is a Y. How does she know that it's forged? But Katie, you wrote... Okay, shut up.
They're not even remotely the same. So she is saying that I'm reacting so poorly and don't like them anymore because KRISTY manipulated me, and I'm just so stupid that I couldn't figure out that she had 12 convictions and forged Gypsy's signature. And then here
Journalist Katie Joy Paulson, people. This is some of your best work. I mean, it reminds me of when you made fun of Chelsea having anxiety, or when you spoke like Tyler and Caitlin's Nova, their child, you mocked her. Look at you. I mean, this is too close for fucking comfort. This is so close. Guys, I'll link this below. Go check it out. But let's just have a look. One more look at the little comparison.
Here is where she forged Gypsy's name onto a life contract with By Proxy. The top is the contract for By Proxy, and the bottom is Gypsy's actual handwriting. They're not even remotely the same. Unclothed, like with her butt out, lying on her stomach, deceased.
Have I clicked on the wrong video, and only by the time I'm nearly at the end that I figured out that this is not what I came for? Like, I didn't come for this. Where's the exclusive? Is it in the other video? I am not happy. Katie, where is the exclusive? Are we going to get to it?
Another aspect that upset the family was that she decided to release Gypsy's entire interrogation, a 4-hour interrogation video, which is on her YouTube channel called By Proxy Productions. In the 4-hour interrogation video, which we've all seen clips of, Gypsy lies a lot. But this was also 4 years ago, before Gypsy had any exposure to any therapy at all, had just gotten out of this very abusive situation with her mother. And so they were not pleased that the entire 4-hour interrogation was released. They also weren't happy.
You're doing an awful job at explaining.
Happy that they released the 12-hour interrogation of Nick. They also weren't happy that they released the entire over 100-page discovery of this case, because at this point, the story has really been told by so many different people, and they sort of just felt like, why does all of this need to be public? You know, we need to start protecting Gypsy's privacy a little bit, and like, not everything needs to be for the public consumption. So Gypsy got upset. She writes a very stern and very vicious email to Francesca, which I'm not going to show you. I don't want to. I was thinking about it, but I'm not going to. She was angry about a number of different things and decided that she was going to cut ties. And Fancy was not supportive of her relationship with Ken. And so she severs ties with them in July. And then KRISTY and her husband sever ties shortly thereafter. So messy. So what does this mean for the production of Gypsy? Well, I have no idea. I couldn't get a sense of what was actually going on. She said that she had different people interested in the production. She insists that she wants to get to the truth of what this family is, of who this family is, and insists that, you know, maybe the father and the stepmother aren't as good as they say they are, and that Gypsy is probably still very not taking steps to get better. And to which I asked KRISTY, you know, how is Gypsy doing? And she said that Gypsy is a work in progress. So Gypsy was 23 years old for the first time when she came out. She went straight from living with her mother into prison. It's taken a lot of time and effort to get her to open up and to learn skills. She had been taught to lie, how to manipulate, and how to con, because that's what her mother did. And it's been years of trying to unwire and relearn skills, which has not been easy. But she has enrolled in a new anxiety class. KRISTY said she's taken anger management classes. She does group classes with other women, and she'll be doing a class coming up here on healthy relationships.
That's your son. Your son is going to end up like that. Your son is going to learn how to lie, manipulate, cheat, scam through you. You're teaching your son through behavior. Like, not that he does watch you. Oh my gosh. you just have no idea of the shit that you have stolen from your son, the ability to eat, or the therapy that he might have done, but I don't believe you took him to try and get him to eat, because he had delayed motor skills and developmental delayed from being born premature. But then he also has gastroparesis, like almost having spina bifida. The gastroparesis is, I have that as well. From my waist down, I have no muscle tone. A lot of prem babies have it, because we miss out on the final last weeks of pregnancy where the muscle cells in the stomach are developed, and that's what digests the food for you. So basically I can't digest food and I can't absorb the nutrients from the food. So but yeah, the difference between my mum and Katie is my mum like loved her children. My mum had all the patience, all the time in the world. She cared for me. Like, it didn't matter how long it took. She sat there with me to eat, to try and talk. Like, I had to go and learn how to talk because I couldn't control my tongue and all this. There's a lot that comes with having a premature child. But yeah, it's the attention that Katie got around raising money for his heart surgery and all that, that once she found the benefits that she can get for certain disorders, the rest is kind of history. But a lot of women, other mums, called her out in these groups and also said that she shows signs of Munchausen by proxy because her son always has to be the worst. She exaggerates all of his disorders to the extreme, and sometimes like will list all the symptoms rather than just saying what the disorder is, because she needs people to think that he is more worse off than he is. And this child has never been told nothing positive. He's never been told that, who cares what the doctors say? Like, you will overcome every obstacle. You will be whoever you want to be. But she's told him all this negative stuff that keeps him in the house. She told him that you'll never be independent. You have to live here. We've like built the basement, decked it out like a little unit so you can live down there. It's the house of horrors. I keep thinking of The People Under the Stairs, that horror movie, because it basically is. The mum kept the child sick and trapped in that house for so many years. And then the only people that could save her was like two robbers. I love it. I used to have a crush on the kid full, but we're getting off track. Should we just watch the end? I feel ripped off. This is not what I came here for, Katie. This is not what I came here for. And just even, La Miguel, even the article where she explains about the worms on his plate, and like the picture that she uses is, with trolley, like worms, lollies. But she's coming up in her head like, oh, he's got sensory processing disorder and that's why he can't eat. Or when he looks at the food, this is what he sees, slimy, gooey, all this stuff. No, what she was feeding him was not food right for his age. She made him choke. She made him fear food. Like, you got a child that can't even control his tongue, and then she's feeding him corn, grapes with skin on it, these hard things I didn't even know, like, and milk that causes so much saliva. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Her child has been on a feeding tube since he was 3 years, 8 months, according to the timeline. But what's even more disturbing with the feeding tube stuff is for 3.5 years, he was in daycare Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Katie would pick him up and then bring him home and put him straight to bed because daycare was feeding him and he was eating. But then when she left her job, got fired for being too hungover, because like I said, they were binge drinking during that first 5 years, neglecting him. All the videos, all the pictures from these days, It's just Katie's point of view from her drinking chair and Toad playing roughhouse with this child that is medically fragile, throwing him around, and they don't care. They're just not with it, shoving an iPad in his face because they don't have the patience. They don't have, like, their child is not their priority because they're still stuck in their alcoholism, substance abuse. Katie admits to it, well over 2 decades. I mean, gosh, she's having a dirty martini on Christmas Eve. I almost vomited. But, why not get trashed? You've got the medically fragile child, remember, and 6 animals. What if something goes wrong? That's okay. You can drag it on and not take him to the hospital like you've done before. Watch him get worse, even though he's showing the signs that his shunt has malfunctioned, where parents are sent home with a list of symptoms. This is what to look out for shunt malfunction, the shunt for his hydrocephalus, which Katie left for 4.5 years, man. I thought it was up until last year when we dug into it even more. I thought it was like 3.5 years max, because Google says after that time it could become fatal for the child. 4.5 years of cerebral fluid building up in Katie's son's brain. Why didn't they see it? Because they weren't focused on him. They were focused on themselves, their alcohol intake, sloshing it back, not looking for therapy. Oh, well, yeah, they did. They went to the church. They went back to church and scammed the church full of everything that they could get, playing that violin, my sweet, medically fragile child, who they put in a room when they get home and close the door and then sit down and drink. They just don't care. Yeah, they raise their son on fear. But I was thinking, should we even bother? I don't think the exclusive is going to happen in the next 10 minutes. But I wanted to just finish off this live by showing one of my Twitter. I can't talk and do stuff at the same time. Or should we watch the end? Oh my God, brain's like, just press play and we'll just see. We'll speed it up a bit and we'll just see. Maybe the exclusive is at the end.
KRISTY also said that the family is still connected to Dr. Phil, and she was just on the phone with them over the weekend talking with them about actually yesterday, she said she spoke to somebody at Dr. Phil's office to potentially they're working on finding a psychologist or psychiatrist, someone that has experience with what Gypsy went through, to come to the prison once a week and help her through an hour-long counseling session, through like a visiting type situation where they can meet in a room and sort of talk through things to help Gypsy continue to process it. KRISTY said that, she's a lot different than she was 4 years ago, but she also has a long way to go. But they remain committed to helping her. But they don't expect her to just come out of this without being scratched or scathed, and that it would be unrealistic for her to be unrealistic for her to not have issues at this point. So
where did your brain go? My brain is asking that, even though it's not been here the whole time. I don't think we're going to get to an exclusive. So I'm going to just show you this Twitter thread. There's a few of them on my Twitter. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and X. I'm like, what? I still hate calling it X because it's so porn. Especially because I don't use I always use dark. You know what I mean? The dark side. I never have anything that's white page. Oh, this is what happens at the end of Katie's streams. My brain has turned to mush. So I put this together in July 2022. Katie has so much to say about Munchausen by proxy mums, yet refuses to acknowledge her own red flags, just saying. Self-awareness is crucial, KJ. You're always exploiting your child every chance you get. Also, this is from one of her articles where she's talking about Susan Schofield. Another troubling video she shared was of Bodhi in the shower. During the video, Susan walks into the bathroom and films her son taking a shower. She cheers him on for doing something for himself. However, viewers of the video found the content an invasion of privacy. And then Katie's done the exact same thing, shared her child in the bath with the worst, often the worst caption, like sometimes the one that like scarred my mind. Was it Llama? You know it. He did not comply today or something like that. She's trying to get him to talk, like say a sentence or something, and he's totally ignoring her. Because he knows that he is her puppet to perform. She's got the phone out, you know. There's always a phone. He never sees his mum's face without a phone in front of it, even when he needs her the most. After surgery, she's still there with a phone in his face. The next one, Katie has no issue sharing her son's meds. She's always put her son in danger by oversharing. Katie has fed predators. She's completely unaware and still does nothing to rectify the situation. Her son's whole life is online, put there by his own mum. She can remove her own information from Google search, but she can't remove her son's, because without his story, she is nothing. Without his story, she is nothing. She's the most boringest, drunk old bitch ever. Look, so desperate to show. Look at this. So it's the disposable briefs. Okay, this is what you use. Do you use that brand as well? Keep it in the family? I'm joking, but, you know, if anyone has, like Katie, lost the ability to control their bladder or bowel due to alcohol abuse and substance abuse, which has happened to Katie, I'm not shaming you. Like, if you share anything that I joke around with Katie, like, it's not directed at you. It's just directed at Katie because, you know, the stuff that she shares, this post underneath sharing the maximum protection, disposable briefs. It's the little things, graduating to youth diapers, and one's for overnight protection. I cannot wait for no more leaks at night. Some parents get sick of diapers. I'm just glad our insurance covers them and he's nice and dry. What's your big thing you appreciate? That's from the 14th of November, 2017. And then this one. Katie likes to claim that she took care of her medically fragile child by herself until he got full-time nurses at 3. Lie. She used to blog about being in daycare, shared pics, and then he was too sick and no daycare would take him when he had the feeding tube. I just can't be bothered reading. That's like Katie's TikTok when I don't know if these videos are still on her TikTok, but this was around the time when she was trying to prove to Amber and her sycophants that, you know, you can't break her. And I watched my son stop breathing. I told he wouldn't survive. I've gone through 4 brain surgeries and open heart surgery with him. No, you have not. Look at that though. Like, look in the mirror, Paulson. Look in the mirror. Look how swollen her face was. I'll link this down below. This And you can go check it out. But there's just pictures of him in daycare. And then this is when Katie used to be a crunchy mum. Like, I read this article. It's in the playlist Without a Crystal articles. I might link it, just this video by itself alone. But it's actually fascinating because the crunchy mum, like, she talks about not believing in vaccines, and like, so she didn't get any of her pregnancy vaccines or anything. And then her son caught whooping cough when he was in the NICU for being born prem. Why did he catch that? She blamed it on a relative, but she's the one that didn't get her needles. Like, I'm pretty sure the whooping cough is one of the needles that you get within the first trimester or something. I don't know, don't quote me. My friend's having too many kids and I can't keep up. So yeah, she's just talking about natural remedies. But like, this is quite damning what the post says. V gets horrible breakouts of candida, like thrush, on his face. He stims and rubs his face constantly, and it gives him bumps of yeast all over his nose and above his lip. I've been using everything to get rid of it. No luck. I went to the store that sells soap. What? I went to the store that sells soap and all handmade natural products. After 3 applications, it is clearing. I can't believe it. Even antifungal cream didn't help. This stuff is awesome. I'm using it around his stoma of his G-tube, and the skin is also looking less irritated. So the fact that she even let it get like irritated, it's too much. It's too much. And then this is more. Once Katie found the special needs mum groups and saw what she could get from the government, she started sharing all of that too. Katie's always been her son's biggest disability, from her negative words to her misunderstandings, born without. I found an article. I don't know which one it is. I've got to go back and try and find it because I can't remember which one it was called because I've just read so many. I read an article where she says the doctor told her, and this is around the time when he had the traumatic brain injury at 3 months old, which translates to shaken baby syndrome, which I believe that's when he acquired the panhypopituitarism, because that's when the pituitary gland was damaged. And the doctors told her that the pituitary gland was collapsed, which is so much more. That's what that's what happens with shaken baby syndrome, because it snaps. I've got to find it. Anyway, Katie's post from 10th of October 2017. Raise your hand if shipment day from your DME is as exciting as Christmas. And I believe that she just keeps stockpiling medical equipment that V doesn't really need, just to amp up, to make him look more unwell than he is. V's hospital records from January 2013 to present. And she says, reading doctor's notes, assessments about our feelings is sobering, annoying, and hilarious. Get this, I'm described as adamant a lot. Well, when I know more about the damn disease than the doctors, you bet your ass I'll be adamant. One of the flags, one of the signs for Munchausen by proxy is the mum knows more than the doctors. If she knew more than the doctor, she wouldn't have taken her son off full nutrient complete diet. I'll link that video below. It's Mama Knows Best. The food prep, the disregard to what his actual disorder is, the gastroparesis. So she did like the food that she gives him. Why are you giving him that? It's ridiculous. They almost didn't diagnose him with the panhypopituitarism because the first endocrine doctor felt it was improbable based on his good muscle tone. Genetics doctors thought he had an unusual appearance. He was on a ventilator. Like, that's got no, that she just added that information. It's got no, it's out of context. Unbelievable how doctors can be so clueless. However, our favourite doctor's notes were always about concern and getting to the root of the issue. We refused to let them drop the lethargy and low energy. Turns out he had panhypopituitarism, and he even fooled the first endocrine doctor. So they went to different doctors. But she's already an expert. You're not an expert, man. You don't even recognize your own disorder. And then I think this is me just yelling at Toad for not doing anything. Katie, why the fuck does your husband just let you continue to destroy not only your future, but his and your son's too? Have you pussy whipped Toad? To never question you. How the fuck is he proud of you? You're exploiting his son too. They never say our son. Their brain doesn't expand. Oh, look, we're going round in circles. But yeah, there's a few other like threads I've done throughout the years. Oh, I'm going to come back now. And how do I come back? How do I get out of here? I am lost in my own shit. Oh, that's right. I pressed this button. Oh, thank God. Oh my God, thank God we made it. We made it out alive. We didn't get what we came for. Like, there was no exclusive. And where's the... Okay. Llama Girl and Renelle would know. Or who knows? Which one do I have to go to? Should we bring up Without a Crystal Ball's playlist of Gypsy videos? Unless she's deleted it. Has she? No. She doesn't delete anything. No, but I mean, any old stuff. I can't talk and do this at the same time. 'Cause I can't do that, and I just do this, and my brain still works. I don't know how. Oh, I just did like burpees in my throat. Did you hear that? Burpees in my throat. I was hanging out with my parents' pug this afternoon. It was so good. Okay, let's not talk about that. What are you typing? Okay, that and that. And that, and then press enter, and it should come up, and then we can all regroup on the side of the street. I'm coming back in my car now. No, I'm already here. What's going on? Okay. No. How do I bring it up? Okay. Sorry, brain is like half working but not. So this is the playlist over here, and here we watched which one did we watch? Was it that one? I'll have to have a look. Does anyone in chat know? Oh, it's the one titled The Truth About My Interview. Oh no. Yeah, I've already covered that. I've already covered that in 2021. Okay. So I'll link those videos down below. And then on Monday, you'll be able to see my fancy video, hopefully. I can get it edited up. I'm so annoyed at myself because it was so ready yesterday. It was ready and it was all complete. And then I don't know where it went because technology is just not happening for me at the moment. Like, oh my God, I muted myself in my last live because I hit a button on my keyboard that doesn't have the light that tells me that I've hit that button. to mute the mic. You understand? Do you understand my issues? They're so much bigger than Katie's. Katie, I'm disappointed. Although, what did we get out of watching this? Anything? Maybe I might have to look at what I did with what I covered from the video that Renelle's talking about, the truth about my interview with by Proxy, which I've already covered. I'll link it down below. That's the second part. The first part was the actual interview. And what I'm thinking is I didn't watch the end of the live because I always started at the beginning. The best bits are the end. So if we haven't watched the end, might have to revisit it. And, with a clear mind. I've got such a more turned on mind. No, that's not the right word. Switched on mind than I was more than in 2021. Because, I've been on this whole, as this channel's grown, so have I, kind of thing. When you latch on, when you just, I can't talk. I've got nothing left. How did everyone else survive? You reported me to YouTube. You are harassing me for no good reason. Who are you? Skype trouble. Are you troubled? Oh. This shows me what a disgrace of a human being you are. What if I'm not? What if I'm a robot and you don't know? Like, I could be AI right now. You don't even know me or who I am. How can you make such a horrific accusation? Is this you, Katie? Who is? Who are you? I'm not defending anyone. I'm saying it is not right to profit off accusations. I'm not profiting off anything, and I'm not making accusations. This is all my own opinion. You know how that works? Little discussion. Again, you don't know anything about me. How can you make such horrific accusation? Have I read that bit already? Katie, is this you? I would have chosen a better name, really. Skype troubled? Or is this Fancy? Fancy, is this you? Would you like to come on? Would you like to? Come on. Would you like to take a chair? Would you like to take a seat on the Cactus couch and come in and just, let me know what I'm missing? And I don't mean to harass you. I'm just reacting and processing live with my, I don't know if it is Katie. It sounds a bit, I'm getting a vibe of someone we haven't crossed paths with. Because most of Katie's alternate sock accounts, I've blocked them, and there's like over 15 that have come for me since I've started this channel, and I don't have time to deal with that. Sit on the cactus. Oh, sit on the cactus, and I provide cushions, if you don't want to be pricked, because not everyone does. And I also offer oven mitts for cactus hugs so that you don't get pricked. See, I am not a nasty person. I think of people. Are you typing out a novel? Are you going to say anything else? When did you come in? Let me just scroll up. I'm not a fan. Oh, here we go. I'm not a fan of KJ's. I just don't think it's right to attack her when she doesn't even know who you are. I don't care if Katie knows who I am or not, but Katie does know who I am. We have crossed paths many times. But no, I'm not here for Katie. I'm here for people to tell people about Katie, Where? I want more. Your content is basically just criticizing someone. You should look yourself and them. What? You should look at yourself in the mirror. Oh my God. Okay, just wait. I'm going to go look and then I'll be back. I just looked at myself in the mirror and guess what? I loved what I saw and it was beautiful. And I smiled. Now you do it. Go on, now you do it. Why can't this person create their own stuff? Lack of creativity? Yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, you are a disgrace. You can't create your own content, so you copy others and talk smack about them. Ridiculous. Am I getting your tone right? Or are you a bit more mono? I don't know if I can do mono. You know, I'm a bit of a character. Yeah, so let's see if you've replied. No. Did you get scared? Did Goose boot you? Okay, well, that looks like our fun is over, but I'm going to, you can report me to YouTube all you want. I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, this is all under YouTube stuff. Maybe you're the one that's doing something wrong. Did you come in here with, I don't know, but let's all just send you on your merry way. Goose, you just let that person just come straight in? Did you bring a chair? Did you bring a drink? Did you bring a picnic basket? Are you going to share the popcorn? Oh, they're not going to come back. Sorry, did I put you on the spot? That's what happens. Oh, some of your messages didn't show up. Well, you're in my live, so technical issues might be happening. What did they? No. Are you scaring me, Goose? Are you scaring me? Guys, homework. Go and look at yourself in the mirror. And yeah, smile, reach out and touch that screen, you know, and then touch yourself and go, we are one. And then, yeah, we'll just get Katie to look in the mirror and that will be it. Ghetto County, Cactus high five. They did sound ridiculous, but I had fun and I'm annoyed that there's no more. Like, they didn't even say goodbye. That's a bit rude. Okay, guys, give this video a like, share it, comment below, let me know what you think. And yeah, consider subscribing. And yeah, Monday I'll have my fancy video. I'm ready for it. And then there's more after it, but we'll start where we start first. And I can't even imagine being troubled on Skype, because Skype is quite easy. What if it was Toad? Do you reckon it was Toad? Who else? No, it was Katie. It had to be Katie, but what time is it over there? Yeah, she doesn't sound drunk enough. It's only midday. No, it's 1 p.m. because I'm 13 hours ahead of Minnesota. It's not just the worst. Why can't it be 12? 12 would be fine. Okay, guys. Oh, yeah, and you should check out my TikTok because I shared this like short about Gypsy. It's also on my YouTube shorts. I upload shorts every day. This is probably my first non-Katie one, but it was about Gypsy and I uploaded it on TikTok yesterday. And then today I went and looked and I'm like, holy shit, like people are really interested. Too many people, like 3 digits, like 100,000 plus people have watched it. And there's all these kids in the comment, like, this is what I told you today in PE. I love it. I love it, but it's overwhelming for me. I'm a hermit. I fucked up on that video and now it's blown up. I just got to be more creative. When you stay up 24 hours, it means nothing. Oh, Susie, don't do that to yourself. Or is that what Katie does? Yeah, that's what you mean, isn't it? Bye, but I couldn't even read her energy. But anyway, yes, have a good one, everyone, and have a good one, Renelle. Good to see you, and Llama girl for showing up. Always love it when, you know, big names rock up. And thanks for the Cactus crew for rocking up in chat and having a good old chinwag. You guys are always having a good time. And if more of Katie's or whatever turn up in the thing, it's just like, this means we're on the right track, you know, pointing out the realness. Katie is not a creator. I am more creative than Katie, okay? 3 videos a day. Imagine that. Okay, guys, please take care, and I'll catch you on Monday. And yeah, members live this weekend. Take care, and we will regroup next week. See you guys.